singing along to She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain. But we definitely have to give a lot of credit to him for sure.
Yes, obviously talking about chasing your dreams, and my full-time job, I work with young people that have unfortunately made some poor decisions in their for schooling, and that's one thing I always try to encourage them to do all the time too, is to chase their dreams. I'm glad you had I'm sure your whole family, especially your grandfather, really inspiring you to go after those dreams. So, dreams, if you want them, they just take a little bit of work.
It's so true. We've gotten really lucky just with our whole family in general, being so supportive and so right there with us, saying, you know what, you can. This isn't crazy. You can get out there. You can work hard. You can make this dream happen. So what we've seen is that if you're willing to get out there and dig in and work hard, you can do it. Good things can come to you if you're willing to put in the time. So.
Exactly. And speaking of putting in the time, and that was just like a perfect segue to the next question.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. In 2013, you mentioned it talking at the beginning of the show. You released a self-titled album, 5 songs. The lead single, "Love Don't Give Up." But out of those 5, which one did you have the most fun recording?
Gosh,
or can you pick a favorite?
Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite. So we went down and we did the album, I guess that was our junior year of college. Yes. And so we were fortunate enough to work with an awesome producer named Adam Englehart out of Sony Tree Studios in Nashville. And so he had a bunch of great songs from Nashville songwriters that he was able to pitch to us. And we took a listen and decided on the 5 that we liked best and went down during our spring break to record them, which was really cool for us. It was the first time we'd been in a studio for 4 or 5 days and just digging into the songs and worked with Nashville musicians, which was awesome. So for me, my favorite song to record was track 4, Something We Never Had. It's one of our tracks that we don't always play as much live, but it's reminiscent of an older country style. The song is, and when we listened to it, we kind of liked how different it sounded, and for me, it was something, it was a little bit of a different style than we sometimes sing in. So it was really cool to kind of change it up and do something different. And it's a unique song for us, so I'm really glad we ended up putting it on the album. But I think, Hannah, you had a different song,
I did.
Right?
Because I sang a lot of the harmony on that one, which was also really fun. Probably for me, it was the most fun and the most challenging was actually our single, Love Don't Give Up. It was just a big song vocally, but it was really fun just to, when you're in the booth, you do a bunch of different takes, and the producer has you try things different ways, and some of them work out and some of them don't. But it was fun for me to remember all of the takes that we did in the studio and then listen to the finished product, because it was such a challenge for me to sing that I enjoyed the comparison that I had from the studio to the finished album.
That's great.
Go
ahead, Evan, because I have a question about studio recording.
Yeah.
And so I didn't mean to interrupt you, Evan.
The quick follow-up.
We do it all the time, too.
There you go.
Yeah. Outside of the stuff that you've written and recorded, and I'm sure at concert you've performed some other stuff as well. Outside of your stuff, what are some of your favorite, covers to do? When you're performing, if you do covers, or what are some of your favorite songs to perform?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. We still do covers. We're kind of at a phase where we like to get it at about 50-50, 60-40, definitely getting our own music out there. But still, I know people, even when I'm hearing a band, people like to hear stuff they know, which I totally get. Lately, we grew up listening to Shania Twain. She was one of our favorite artists. We're actually going to see her when she comes to Pittsburgh here in a couple weeks. So we do Man, I Feel Like a Woman, which is one of my favorites.
Which is a ton of fun. We do a lot of Little Big Town, the band Perry. There's a lot of great groups in country right now who they have cool harmonies and more than one person, which is nice. We sing solo artists too. We do a lot of Miranda Lambert. Her new song Little Red Wagon is one of our favorites to do in shows. But it's fun to cover groups in country as well because they're set up really nicely for a duo, which is always fun.
Sure. So I had to go back to it. You mentioned you were twins and you talk over each other. Evan and I talk over each other all the time, so we apologize for that. You brought it. you brought up something, though, that I wanted to throw out there, because now we're talking reality TV and all these things, but there's a new show out called Nashville, and you see country artists recording, and every time you're watching them on TV, it looks like they walk in, they cut this song like in 2 hours, and there's no problems at all. That's not reality, is it?
I wish.
I wish that was. I have a funny story about that as far as not necessarily smooth recording. So it was one of our last days in the studio recording the EP, and I was laying down the lead vocals for the last track called Till I Kissed You, and I was having a lot of allergies and things just weren't going well. Couldn't get the notes to come out the way we wanted them to sound, and there was an intern in the studio that day, and we were all sitting around saying, like, how can should I drink more water? Should I have some tea? Like, how can I make my voice sound a little better than it does right now? And he goes, hey, when I can't get my throat to sound good, like, I usually eat Lay's potato chips. So they got me a bag of potato chips, and I had them, and it cleared all the stuff out of my throat, and we got a not terrible recording, and so it was definitely not smooth sailing the whole way. There's always a lot of ups and downs.
And it's definitely, we had a long wait. We were in Nashville. Our band that we used musicians from down there. They were amazing. They did all the tracks, all 5 songs, in a 3-hour block. Mm-hmm. So they came in, looked at the charts that the acoustic guitar player had done, and listened to the song and went in and nailed it.
It was incredible.
And then we took about 3 or 4 days to lay down all of the vocal lines and all the harmonies. But then we had to wait. I think it was about 2 months for the tracks to get put together and edited, and they did the mastering, which is like the final touch to make them radio ready. So it's definitely, I wish I could go in 2 hours and get them all done like on Nashville.
It'd be amazing.
But it's definitely, we have to be very patient. I know we were so eager to hear them, but we had to wait until the producer said they were totally ready to be heard.
Wait, you mean to tell me reality TV isn't actually reality TV? What?
I know, shocker, right?
No, the next thing ladies are going to tell me there's no Santa Claus. Is that the next thing you're going to tell me?
I'm not going to comment on that
I won't be the one to break it to you.
Well, I do have a question for you. Troy brought up the reality shows, and you see shows like, American Idol and The Voice, and, you two are, busting your butt in the studio and, promoting, everything. When you see those type of shows, what kind of thought goes through your mind?
I think it's such the music industry has changed so much. There's so many ways to get to where you're going. And, for some people that works out really well. Other people it takes longer. I think it's interesting to see just how much, the days of just playing in a bar and hoping a producer discovers you we're moving away from that. So I think it's interesting, there's a lot of really talented people have come from these shows.
Absolutely.
And, I know I enjoy watching them, so it's cool to see how much times have changed, especially for musicians who are trying to break out in the industry today.
Yeah, I think for some people it works out as another great outlet to get exposure and get your name out there, and then some people do it the long way and play bar after bar and gig after gig until you get to a place where, you can get on someone's radar who's bigger than you are. But
there's a lot of work no matter what you do.
Yeah, I think no matter what avenue you take, we're starting to find that the music industry in general just takes a lot of work and a lot of patience.
It does. And so you guys, Evan, they're like naturals. They segue into every question that we're going to ask.
Oh, I'm so glad.
We might have to have him back on it to host the sports show one time.
Oh man, we might be a little out of our element there.
You might not be as pleased with our performance on that one.
But I laugh because people are going to laugh when I say this, and Lauren, we were talking about this before the show.
Yeah.
But people are going to laugh when I say this. But believe it or not, the Westmoreland County Rib Fest is a huge event out in western PA. And if you don't go to the Rib Fest, you might as well be hiding under a rock out in Westmoreland County, because it's that big of an event. And you guys are going to be playing there this Saturday at 3:30. Hopefully weather works out for you.
We're keeping our fingers crossed. It's not looking good right now, but hopefully it's still early, so hopefully things will just blow over.
We're really excited. It's first time. We've never actually been to the event, so we've been living under a rock prior to now. But it's our first time working with Simon Entertainment too, who's putting it on, and we love getting to play in a new area. For us, it's all about building the fan base, meeting new people, and so we love taking our music to a new place where we haven't yet been. So for us, we can't wait. There's lots of great local bands playing too, and so we're really excited. I can't wait to get out there and meet people and put on a good show.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I can go. I'm not sure if I work a second job too on the weekends. I'm not sure if we'll be able to head out there by 3:30 because that's when you guys are supposed to play. But
yes,
gonna try to get out there if we can, but
hopefully we'll see you. We'd love to see you in person.
Scratchy, Troy?
What was that?
Then your throat start to feel a little scratchy. You know, you can always, call in or something.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's gonna work. But hey, guess what? I gotta go listen to some music. But no, there's one other event, and we talked about this too. And I got a little bit of your take before the show, but the Three Rivers Regatta, a huge 4th of July event in Pittsburgh, and you guys and I'll say have the honor of opening up for Brett Eldridge.
Absolutely.
For the regatta. Tell us a little bit about that.
We're so excited. The regatta is a huge event in Pittsburgh over the 4th of July, so we were just excited to get to be a part of that event no matter what. And we love Brett Eldridge. We actually got the chance, this is actually our second time opening for him. He came down to Wake Forest our senior year, and we got the chance to open up for him when he did a show there. And so we were excited that we get to do it again. He's a fantastic artist. His songs are incredible. He writes almost all of them himself. And he's just a great example of an independent artist just working really hard and not giving up until you get where you want to be. So we're really pumped that we get to play at the regatta and see Brett Eldridge. It's a double win for us, I guess.
Yeah, we were really thrilled when we got the news about getting one of the opening slots. So it was really exciting for us. So we feel really fortunate. We have a lot of good shows coming up this summer, lots of opportunities that we're really excited for.
So the big question I have, and I need to know, any plans for maybe making an appearance in the Midwest, let's say maybe Wisconsin anytime soon?
Hey, you never know. Tell you what, we're looking to expand our territory so we could go all the way and get really far. Yeah, ideally we'd like to play everywhere someday. So that's in the long-term agenda, you could say.
Going on the road is definitely a dream that we hope isn't too far off from now. You sort of have to, you start in your own area and you conquer all the places there, and then you go out 50 miles and you do it again. And so, we'd like to take our music as far as we possibly can. So, a tour and maybe a tour bus is a big dream right now, but someday we'd love to be able to get to that level.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I've listened to the music, and Evan mentioned it before, the reality shows with The Voice and America's Got Talent and all those, and I would tell you, it was a pure chance that, I connected with you because of our tickets at the FOP.
Sure.
And I'll tell you, I listened to the music, and it's great stuff. And
Thanks.
I'm not just saying that because you're on the show. I mean, it is really great stuff. So, like you said, you keep working hard. And I want to let the listeners know where they can catch you for our local listeners. We talked about the Westmoreland County Rib Fest this Saturday, June 27th, 3:30 p.m., Westmoreland Fairgrounds. You guys are playing the regatta, and you're on one main financial stage, 4 to 5:30 on Friday, July 3rd.
That's correct.
And then you actually have an after-fireworks party at Latitude 360 on the 4th of July.
We do. We're going to keep the party going even after the fireworks.
Sounds good. And then I'm going to go farther and all the way up to the FOP on July 8th, playing at Peters Township Summer Concert Series at Peterswood Park on July 8th, 7 o'clock. And then you're playing at the Rivers Casino Outdoor Concert Series with Chris Higbee. Yeah. On Friday, July 17th at 7 o'clock. And then that Sunday, opening for Aaron Tippin at the FOP. So, like you said, you guys are busy. And, Evan, any other questions? I mean, again, the show goes so fast, 30 minutes, just like that.
Even though I was late.
Yeah, time definitely does fly. And just quick plug, for our listeners, obviously I now follow you on Twitter, and I liked your